the Big N finally enters the HD console race with the release of the Nintendo Wii U. But will exclusive launch titles like Nintendo Land and ZombiU that take advantage of the gamepad, plus unique concepts like the Mii-Verse, be enough to secure the system's position in your living room, or is this console a little late to the party?
Welcome back to the GamerNerdz. Now 2012 has been really good to us. We've had tons of great games, we've had tons of new hardware, and me and Voyce are particularly excited. This is our first new home console. The GamerNerdz is now reviewing the new Nintendo Wii U, which was released on November 18th. This is Nintendo's first foray into the high definition era. They're 6 years late. Does Nintendo succeed?
Well, first of all, them releasing a system that's on par with the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Granted, graphically and power-wise, it's supposed to be better, but marginally so. I do feel it's kind of late in the generation to releasing a system that is that close to old platforms. But with that being said, it's HD, so you get to see Mario and all that stuff in HD.
Thank God.
There are two models available. There's the white model, which is 8 gigabytes.
And also known as the Tard Pack.
And then there's the black model, which is 32 gigabytes, the one that you should have bought.
Yes. Which is known as the Deluxe Pack. You get a nice matching black Wii U tablet. You get HD cables. You get some really funky tablet holders. Nintendo Land, which we'll talk about later. And you also get a discount for making purchases through the Nintendo eShop. Now, Nintendo's first foray into the HD console. A lot of the games that aren't multi-platform don't really look that much better than the 360 counterparts. I just think it's people not really familiar with the hardware and all. It is kind of disappointing to see Nintendo Wii U struggle to do Mass Effect 3 as good as the 360 version. There's a couple of things with the system itself, loading times in particular. It doesn't seem as powerful as it should be. It is $349.
It comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM, 1 gigabyte is dedicated to operating system, 1 other gigabyte reserved for games. I was kind of surprised of how long it takes for things to load. You boot it up and loading is kind of disappointing, but getting into the gamepad,
this is why you pay $349.
This is what makes the Nintendo Wii U the next generation system, because of the gamepad. Now the gamepad allows you to play games differently. It comes with a gyroscope, accelerometer. It also comes with a camera that allows you to video chat, which is kind of cool.
Which has been done on previous systems. No, the real big thing is the fact that you have a nice, big, fat 6-inch touchscreen right here in the center of the controller. Now, when I first saw the Wii U tablet, I was like, that looks really big and blocky. It actually is not that bad to hold. It's quite light, relatively speaking, and the good thing Nintendo's done here is they put these grooves here for your fingers. Now you have 4 standard shoulder buttons, and this is my biggest problem with the tablet, is that these things are really mushy, especially the shoulder ones. They just don't seem to have enough give, and I was playing AC3 on the Wii U in particular. My fingers were slipping off. That doesn't seem really intuitive, to be honest. Granted, over time, it does get more comfortable to hold.
I started to realize where the Nintendo 3DS XL design may have came from. It's very similar to this in terms of the sheen, the more curvature, edges and whatnot. The fact that the right analog stick is above the ABXY buttons is a little confusing at first. I'm so used to the Xbox 360 configuration, but after a while, you get used to it. The fact that it's so big, when you're playing with this and you have to use a touchscreen, I don't know, the maneuverability is kind of strange.
Let me explain maneuverability with the Wii U tablet. You hold it with one hand and you touch the screen with the other hand.
Yeah, but it's weird because you're playing with these buttons and then suddenly you're like, okay, I need to use this, and then go back to the buttons. So it's a weird transition period.
See, what Voice's problem is that he's used to the iPhone, the Apple way of holding things. If you cannot use your thumb to touch across the device, then it's badly designed. Not the case. I actually did enjoy this. In fact, the screen is bigger. So using the pull-out stylus, which I didn't know existed until well into my ownership of Wii U, it actually is much easier to type and write messages. I guess Nintendo's placing a lot of faith on this one thing here. Conceptually, this is not anything new. The Vita connect remotely to the PlayStation 3. You have touchscreen taken from the 3DS. So what is it about this that really will set things apart?
There's a few things, in my opinion. I think one of the first things that they have is called near field communication technology. Now, what it allows you to do is take objects that support this and place them on top of the gamepad and export data from them or import data into them. I can see down the line how that can be used to really make innovative games and just change the way you play a game. It's a cool tech. I was reading a lot about it, and then when the system launches, none of the games support it.
Because it's not really a system seller. The coolest thing about this is the fact that you have this big screen here. We played a multitude of launch titles taken from the 360 library and PS3 library. So for example, Mass Effect 3 actually has some really cool features implemented with the tablet, which you can't do on other consoles. Unfortunately, that game, the port is not done very well. Assassin's Creed 3 now has the full map on this. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge still sucks. Some of the usages of these ports, not so intuitive. Now, when you get into exclusive games like ZombiU, like Nintendo Land, that's where the Wii U tablet tablet really starts to shine. I'm very happy with the build quality of this. It is gonna get covered in fingerprints really easily. There's one really cool aspect that we didn't know about until the system was released. This is actually a full TV remote. You can literally control all of your televisions immediately from this device. There's no codes to fumble through. You can control your AV receivers as well. When Nintendo TV comes out, or Nintendo TV, whatever it's called,
Nintendo TVI.
it's gonna be really cool to use this because you'll have sub-information about the TV you're watching or sports stats about the game and all that. There's some really cool things that Nintendo's gonna do with this. Right now, unless you're playing exclusive titles, it's kind of hard to see the value.
That's the problem I have with it. When you read about it, it can do so much, but none of the launch titles really take advantage of them.
Okay, no, but
ZombiU,
yes,
ZombiU and
yes.
Nintendo Land do, but for the most part, in most of those games, the only really cool thing is that you can throw the game onto the device and then walk away from it.
Now, see, look, when you do transfer games to this screen, there's no loss in fidelity. Very impressed at how AC3 looked on this because it looks just like the HD screen, even though it's been shrunk down here. Now, granted, you gotta be relatively close to your system. It actually does work. It's instant, it's lag-free, and it's a very, very cool feature. You don't need a TV to run this, by the way. You can actually run everything off this particular device. Do think Nintendo, once they have the third parties with actual unique titles, this is gonna be a success.
Once the games really take advantage of what the system can do, it's gonna be impressive.
You have two titles that you really wanna play, or three actually. ZombiU by Ubisoft, which we will be reviewing shortly, shows why you wanna buy this system. It is the first genuinely scary game we played in a long time, and it makes absolutely fantastic use of this tablet.
It incorporates every aspect of the game. It's not just, oh, we're gonna just somehow throw this in there for no apparent reason. It actually is key and intrinsic to the actual gameplay.
When you play Nintendo Land, I'll tell you right now, it is not Wii Sports. In fact, Nintendo Land is much more fun than Wii Sports. Nintendo Land actually shows every possible way you can control a game with the Wii U tablet. And for a lot of you that don't know, you can actually still use your old Wii remotes and nunchucks in conjunction with the Wii U tablets. Me and Voyce played Luigi's Ghost Mansion, whatever it's called, for the first time. He played the game with the tablet. He was the ghost, and there's a camera and everything. He had a different view of the game. And I had a different aspect. I had to try to catch Voyce. When you do play Nintendo Land with buddies, games like the Metroid game, the Zelda game, not with him, he's terrible at it. It really does show the value, and I actually had a lot of fun.
Really like Nintendo Land, I had a lot of fun playing it. At the end of the day though, it's more of a game to play with someone else. Playing by yourself might get kind of boring after a while. The longevity is definitely there.
Mario Chase, the fact that it shows the person who's running away as Mario, their face captured by the camera here, that is hilarious. The first time I played with him, you saw the genuine fear when I ran after him in my Toad Me. Yes, the gameplay is nothing new, but the way you're playing it and the fact that it's done on this system really well, that really sold the system for me.
Main seller, my opinion, is the Mii-Verse. When I heard the word Mii-Verse, I was like, nah, it's gonna be stupid. Nintendo doesn't do internet or network experiences well. Think Twitter, but on the Nintendo Wii U. You have different communities for games or apps, and people can literally go inside there, they can post comments, they can draw comments. At the same time, you can like their comments by yaing their comments.
Yeah, or yeah.
If you're not sure what game you want to buy, just go into the games community and then just read what everyone's saying. You get personal feedback from people.
The first day the system launched, it wasn't working because Nintendo servers were getting hammered and all. Granted, you have to wait 10 hours to update the damn system. Mii-Verse was really surprising. Yeah, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, PictoChat all in one, but done really well. On top of that, it's moderated to hell. You will not see a single curse word. You will not see penis. In fact, there was an interview of Satoru Iwata, and he said, and I quote, his engineers came up with an algorithm to detect penises, okay, literal penis drawings in the Mii-Verse chat, so you'll never see those. There's no racism, there's no trash there, and Nintendo, their ninjas are gonna be watching. If you say anything out of line, you will be banned. And another really cool thing, it actually shows if you have the game or if you've played it.
Yeah, exactly.
So if there's someone who's like talking trash and they don't have the game, then
you know.
You can take an in-game screenshot, jump to Mii-Verse, post a screenshot and be like, hey, what do I do here? And people will respond. There is a lot of community members. I think Nintendo's done something really smart here.
When you first start playing with the Wii U and you're configuring your system, it'll ask you what TV you have so you can actually control your TV. And I was surprised at how quickly it recognized what TV I had. It was literally just put the first letter, that's all it needed, and it found out I had a Samsung, what model, and it just synced up.
In the previous consoles, they've been really hard-headed. Everyone has to have stupid friend codes. This is the first time in a Nintendo console where you have your own ID, you send a friend request, everything you've seen in Xbox and PS3, but it's finally here in Nintendo 6 years late.
You're only limited to 12 user accounts per console, and right now, you cannot transfer your accounts from one Wii U to the next one. Hopefully in the future.
Why would you want to do that?
If my system locks up and is gone, I don't want to have to recreate a new user account, so hopefully in the future.
But there's full connectivity with other Nintendo devices and fact, I transferred my Mii from my 3DS XL day one. You'll see games like Black Ops 2 released on launch day, Assassin's Creed 3. Now you can play them with the Wii U tablet, or if you want, you can buy the Wii U Pro controller, which to be honest is an Xbox 360 turned on its side. In fact, it was very, very difficult to get used to these dual analog sticks up here. The single biggest thing that confused the hell out of me for the longest time was the naming of the buttons. When you play AC3 and you have a QuickTime event to press A is here.
You press B.
It's here. I kept pressing B. It is very comfortable, it's very light, battery life is so-so, but if this is not your thing, you can definitely go this way.
The Super Nintendo did coin the ABXY configuration.
Yeah.
Microsoft did come and kind of copy it, but kind of switch orientation.
I gotta switch back.
But it's weird though, because Nintendo dropped it on the Wii, and then now the Wii U is backing. You're kind of like, what am I doing? There's Netflix, there's Hulu.
All built in.
All in all, the Nintendo Wii U, honestly, I'm really impressed by everything that's within it, the software, the Mii-Verse, the different functionality that it brings, also the implications of how games will be played eventually down the line. I'm really happy that ZombiU and Nintendo Land took the initiative to actually bring something of value. But with that being said, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that it is partially more powerful than the Xbox 360 and the PS3. I feel it's a little late in this generation for releasing this right now.
I read some technical papers, and the Wii U, it could be actually slower in some places, in particular memory. The loading seems really long. Depending on what you see value in, the tablet itself is quite expensive, but Nintendo Land is worth it. It is an HD console. Whether I'll be using this to play Nintendo games exclusively or third-party titles remains to be seen, but I cannot wait for Zelda in HD. Trust me, I cannot wait for Pikmin 3. The eShop is really fantastic. Nintendo had digital download titles for all the launch games day one. Nintendo's doing things right. I don't think it'll have the same level of success as the Wii, but I think Nintendo has matured slightly, and the system just seems a much larger step in evolution in terms of gameplay, mechanics. For me, it was a good jump, and Nintendo definitely has a hit on their hands.
For me, it's good stuff, but it's a wait and see. Thanks for watching. That was our Nintendo Wii U review. He's a big fan of this system. I'm still so-so. We'll see down the line in the future. For those of you who bought it, what did you think about the system?
We really want to hear from you owners, and even those of you on the fence. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time on The GamerNerdz.